All right, very excited to be joined this morning by the one, the only, the most famous sock on the planet, Ed the Sock. Good morning, Ed. Thanks for doing this.
Hey, no problem, James. And I have to tell you that you look great in that lavender shirt. It's great that men can wear those colors these days.
It's a tough macho-looking color, isn't it?
Well, I don't think there's a whole lot that would do much to make you more macho. Maybe a Mad Max look, but we'll deal with that another day.
All right, thanks. Okay, the World Cup just wrapped up over the weekend. This country was absolutely bananas for the World Cup, right from one end of the country to the other. What'd you make of the World Cup experience, Ed?
Well, I've always had a problem rationalizing rabid nationalism with men in shorts, but we did learn something this time around with the World Cup. We learned that Brazil has their own version of IKEA, but instead of putting the furniture together, you just watch it fall apart. Yeah, all the other jokes were made. I saved that one just for you.
You kept that one in your pocket just for me, right?
Yeah, Suarez made it interesting, because there is nothing more interesting in sports than having a competitor who loves the taste of raw human flesh. I understand that Liverpool is trying to trade him to Spain. The problem is they got to make sure he's microchipped and had his shots.
Okay, look, the Blue Jays, closer to home here, the Blue Jays have been falling off the rails, after a real nice start for them in May. They've come crashing back down to earth. Do you see these guys turning things around at all, Ed?
Yeah, I see them turning it around, if you mean 360 degrees. This is kind of like Groundhog Day when talking about the Jays. They have a good start, or they get a good run going, and then they just fall down. And this is over and over. We talk about it every year. We should just record this and play it year after year, because it's going to be the same. There's a lot of talent there with the Jays. The problem is, if you look at the injuries, the team's starting to look like the end of an episode of Game of Thrones.
Yes,
Lind was walking for 25 days on a fractured foot? 25 days on a fractured foot. What kind of health and doctors do the Jays have? The guy only has 2 feet. You couldn't notice that one of them was a little bit off? Come on, guys, do a little more than hand out that A535, all right?
It's clearly an indictment of our healthcare system, isn't it?
No, it's not our healthcare system. It's obviously the Jays' doctors. I don't know what they're doing, snapping each other with towels or something, but pay attention to the players. They haven't been in the playoffs since 1993. So if they blow it this year, their record can legally drink in the U.S.
Yes, exactly. Age of majority. All right, USA. Hey, look, one of your longtime colleagues, George Stroumboulopoulos, you got your start with Much Music, along with George as well. George is going to be the face of Hockey Night in Canada starting this fall. You and George go way back. How do you think George will fare?
Well, we go way back. I remember George when he was just a wet behind the earrings guy from radio. And you know what? People wrote him off then, and look at how well he did. It's he's kind of like Ben Affleck as Batman. The internet lights up and craps on it before they've even seen the performance. But a good broadcaster is like tofu. You can drop him into anything, and he'll just absorb the taste and be like, you always should have been there. And that's George. He'll do a good job, and I'll tell you something, he's going to be bringing Hockey Night in Canada something it really needs, which is a mass infusion of vowels. Because it's a multicultural country, and our national hockey broadcast still looks like a loaf of Wonder Bread. So George will bring some necessary swarthiness to the broadcast.
Ed, it has been way too long, buddy. Thanks so much for doing this, and I hope we get to do it again sometime real soon.
Yeah, well, that's the likelihood of that is diminishing as we speak. But nice to see you. Nice to talk to you, and say hi to Caroline for me.
I will pass that along, buddy.